Sir,
You
sexual reproduction.
in the asexual reproduction, very good.
Asexual.
In which one the fusion of gametes takes place?
Sexual reproduction.
In the sexual reproduction, right now. So in that, it will be taking place. In which one only one parent takes part? In which type of reproduction only one parent is required?
Sir, asexual.
In the asexual reproduction, only one parent will be required. Good. Others have not joined still. Okay.
Yeah.
Further, we learned about the shoot system and the root system. And
Sir, can I rejoin?
okay, you can rejoin the class.
Okay, thank you. Hello.
Yes. Okay. We learned about what is shoot, the part of the plant that is above the soil, which basically contains different parts of the plants. Namely, it contains stem, leaves, flowers, birds, etc. Also, while we were talking about the birds, BUDS, these birds, we learned there are different types of birds. Like there is apical bird, right now, which will be present on the top part of the plant or the top part of the branches, from which new branches will emerge. And we learned about the axillary bird, which is present on both the sides of the stem, as you can see here. And from this, new stem will be growing, new branch will be growing out from this one, from the side of the stem. Okay. Then we learned about node. So node was that part of the branch from where the leaf will be arising. Further, we learned about the concept of vegetative birds. So vegetative birds, they are sometimes present on the surfaces of the leaf, on the margins of the leaf, as in the case of the bryophyllum leaf. So birds grows on the margin of the leaf, on the edges of the leaf, birds will be growing. And they are called as vegetative birds. Remember the vegetative part of the plant? So here it is the vegetative bird from which a new plant will be growing out. So those are the things which we have learned. Further, we have this concept of vegetative propagation. Don't know why others have not joined. Okay, anyways. So vegetative propagation, it is a type of asexual reproduction in which new plants will be produced from the root, from the stem, or from the leaf, or from the buds of the plant. Example of those plants which can be grown from the vegetative parts are several. We have several examples. Some common examples are rose, bryophyllum, mint, tulip, etc. So do one thing, write down this topic, vegetative propagation, and write down the definition.
Okay.
Aman, I will really appreciate this if you join the class on time. Almost 10-12 minutes late in the class. Yes, Aman. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
So, just a reminder, sir. So, in my school, education in animals and plants has been started.
That has been started. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. By the way, we have done that in the batch. Isn't it too late for the school to start those chapters now?
I don't know why.
Okay. Anyways, right now we are learning about vegetative propagation. So give the topic vegetative propagation. and write down the definition that it is a type of asexual reproduction in which new plants are produced from.
Like for example, sir, the plants use their vegetative parts to reproduce.
Exactly, from the vegetative parts, namely the leaves, stems, roots, or the buds, new plants can grow. So when via this method, new plants will be growing with the help of the vegetative parts. So that method will be called as vegetative propagation. And it's a type of asexual reproduction in which fertilization or pollination is not taking place. Two
When
parent,
male
two,
gametes and female gametes fuse.
exactly, they are not fusing here right now. So this is
Yes,
a
sir. Sir,
asexual
by the way,
reproduction.
what's the name of this chapter?
It's reproduction in plants.
Okay,
The
sir.
chapter we are doing is reproduction in plant. This plant chapter is going on right now.
This chapter is also in fourth class, sir, as the name of pollination.
Pollinations. Okay, so there you will get just a small introduction to the concept.
No, sir. Sir,
Mhm.
vegetative propagation is there also, sir. Sexual reproduction, asexual reproduction, sir. Stigma, sir. Everything about it, it is there, sir.
Acha, acha. Okay, that's the case. Okay, good.
And, sir, I just need a minute to write this.
Okay, both of you finish this. We'll be learning about the different types of vegetative propagation. We will learn there are some plants who have modified stems, modified roots, and the modified leaves and the birds from which new plants can be growing. Each of them will be learning in detail. Another important, you guys will be writing down that vegetative propagation occurs naturally as well as artificially. It occurs naturally and it occurs artificially also.
Sir, are we supposed to write these points also? The rose, mint
No,
plant, and
this
tulips.
no, this is just to give you an idea about what this vegetative propagation is. Write down this is more important statement. Vegetative propagation occurs naturally as well as artificially. Okay. So there will be different methods of vegetative propagation. You will learn about cutting, in which a piece of the stem will be simply planted into the soil, or piece of the root will be simply planted into the soil, and a new plant will grow out of it. Like you guys would have rose plant at your home. Yeah, rose plant. Sorry, not rose plant. I mean to say money plant. Money plant. It's a common plant. Rose plant can also be there. So plants like rose plant or money plant, they will be grown by simply cutting their stem, and we will be simply putting it into the soil. So we will see that new roots will start to grow and a new plant will start to grow from it then. Or you might have seen like plants like strawberry or plants like jasmine. So their stems can be bent down. You can bend down the stem and you can cover it with soil. After some time you will see that from that part of the from the branch, from that part of the plant which has been buried under the soil, roots will start to form. While it will be still attached to the parent plant, you will see that roots starts to form in it, and further leaves and the shoot system will also start to develop and a new plant will grow. Then we will learn about the method of grafting also. Okay. In one of the classes, Fatima, you were there. I told you about the Mango Man of India. There's a man in India who is called as Mango Man.
Yes, sir.
Can you recall the
Who
name?
grew different types of mangoes.
Different species of mango were
Yeah.
grown by him on just one single tree by the method of grafting. Okay, na? He is Kalimullah Khan. Okay, na? He
Okay.
has grown over 300 different varieties of mangoes on just a single tree using the method of grafting. So this in itself is a world record, I think. Okay, na? You guys done with this?
Yes, sir.
Aman, you also? Aman, you done now? Oh, Aman, are you facing some network issue? Okay, see, as I was saying that there are two types of vegetative propagation. One that will occur naturally without human intervention. Human will not be doing any kind of intervention as this. They will not be interfering, right? And these same plants, they can be grown via human intervention also. The only difference is if it is occurring without, it can occur without the intervention of humans, and it can occur with the interference of humans also. And there are some which will be occurring only due to the human intervention. For example, grafting, it will not occur naturally. Or for example, tissue culture, it will not occur naturally. It is done by we humans now, right, Fatima and Aman? While some of them will be going under artificial propagation, they can be propagated artificially also. Some methods will be only artificial method, but we will see that uh, most of them will for example, this potato here. Take the example of this potato. It will do natural vegetative propagation, and it can be artificially also propagated, isn't it? Right, Fatima? An
Yes.
artificial propagation of the potato will be it will be what do we say, that it will be more efficient now, right? It will be more beneficial, because if it is growing naturally, it might several plants might not grow from this in an efficient manner, but when we will be cutting it into different parts, so from each part new healthier plants will be growing. Nonetheless, as we are talking about the natural vegetative propagation, in this we will learn that the the as the name here suggests, that it's the type of reproduction that is going to take place with the help of the vegetative parts of the plant, and it is going to take place in a natural manner without the human intervention. So we will learn about vegetative propagation by the roots in the case of the sweet potato, by the modified stems in the case of the potato, in the case of the ginger. Okay, in the case of the onion also, onion is also modified stem. Okay. Further, we will learn about the case of the runners and suckers and the bryophyllum leaf. Let's start with the first type of vegetative propagation. You guys will first give the heading natural vegetative propagation. Right? Natural vegetative propagation. Natural vegetative
Sir,
propagation.
should we continue or write it into the next page?
In a new paragraph, if there is space is still left there, so you
Yeah.
just begin with a new paragraph. So write natural vegetative propagation. First, you are going to write vegetative propagation by roots. Vegetative propagation by roots. So we get to see that there are some plants that have tuberous roots. They have tuberous roots. So the question is like, what is this tuberous roots? Huh? So tuberous roots will be basically the swollen roots. They are the swollen roots, and they are modified to store the food. Although we know that the normal root, their function is to simply absorb the water and mineral from the soil, but this here is a swollen root, and we are calling this as tuberous roots, right? So the type of root is called as tuberous roots, and that will be acting as a storage organ. And this can participate in the method of vegetative propagation, meaning that from this new plant can be grown. In order to grow new plant from these tuberous roots, first we'll be sowing it into the soil simply. You might have observed this. Like when we purchase the sweet potato from the market, uh, when we purchase this from the market, and if it were to be left in moisture for some time, a small tiny shoot will start to emerge from this. First, a small bud. This small green tissue that you are seeing now, this small green tissue that develops, this is called as bud, bud, bud. Later on, it will, as the bud will grow further, it will develop into a small shoot now. It is small shoot. Remember the shoot, the term shoot here in the previous class, I said that It is generally used for a small plant also. Sometimes a new plant is also called a shoot. Getting both of you? So this is just a tiny plant that is growing. So a new shoot is forming here. Further, this will now develop into a new sweet potato plant, right? So hope this thing is clear to everyone.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now examples of the plants that will be growing by the help of the roots. They are sweet potato, and other examples are dahlia. Aman, you also got this now, right? So these are some of the common examples. And sweet potato, it is edible, by the way. Okay, now. And we have some other examples also, like we can take one more example, that is begonia. 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 So these are examples of the tuberous
Sir,
roots.
should I write this?
I will be telling what you guys have to write in this. Okay, now you guys will be just writing the first paragraph. Just write down the first paragraph. Aman, kindly respond in the class. How will I get to know whether you are done with writing this or not? You will be missing on important things. After writing this, now you will write that birds grow on tuberous roots and new shoot basically tiny plant. The new shoot develops from it. New shoot develops from it. And then you will write down the examples. Examples will be sweet potato, dahlia, and begonia. These are some common examples of uh, tuberous roots that will be doing vegetative propagation. So these are normal roots, or are they modified roots? Are they normal roots or are they modified roots? Yes, Fatima.
Sir, which ones? Sweet potato and dahlia?
All of these are the roots now. Sweet potato, dahlia, begonia. So are they normal roots or the modified roots?
Sir, normal roots?
No. How are they modified? They are
Modified.
modified now. What do we know about the modified roots? Normal roots, their function is simply to absorb the water and minerals from the soil now. But
Yes.
the modified roots, they are swollen and they are acting as a storage organ. So they will be storing the food. Okay, now that is one thing.
Okay.
So their shape is changed and they are performing the function of storing the food. But that does not mean that it will not be absorbing the nutrient from the soil. It will absorb the nutrient from the soil also. As you can see that there are tiny root hairs on this. Can you see the tiny root hairs?
Yes.
So it is still a root, but it's a modified. Extra function that is performed by it is acting as a storage organ. Okay, write down this thing quickly. You might have seen that aerial roots are also there. Know about the aerial roots in plants like in people plant? You might have seen, or in the banyan trees, you'd have seen that aerial roots will be growing and it will be providing extra support to the trees. So that is also a modified root. I hope you're getting what I'm trying to say. Both of you getting what I'm trying to say about the aerial roots? Okay,
Yes, sir.
let me just draw a diagram to give a better clarity to you guys. Say that this is a plant over here. This is the main root. And what we get to see that from the branches of this tree now, roots will grow from these branches also. And when they will be touching the soil, they will connect to the soil and roots will, I mean to say, when they will be touching the ground now, so they will, when they will be touching the ground, so then they will be acting as extra pillar to the plant. They will provide the extra support to the plant. So these are modified roots and they are called as aerial roots. Example of the tree like banyan tree. Have you guys seen a banyan tree? It's a common tree. So there it is found, and that too is a modified root.
Sir, I didn't understand about the banyan tree.
Okay, not getting it. Okay,
Yeah.
what I'm saying that now, normally the normal root, its function is to simply absorb the water and mineral from the soil. So that is the normal
Yeah.
root. Like for example, when you will be looking at the root of the guava plant or mango or any other normal tree, but modified roots are performing an extra function apart from absorbing the water and mineral from the soil. What is the extra function performed by the tuberous root here? What is an extra function performed by it? It is acting as a storage organ.
Yes.
The food produced by this plant, it is stored in this sweet potato. Like the food that is produced by the plant, it gets stored here. So this is acting as a storage organ. That's why this is a modified root. Talking about the banyan tree here, I'm saying that these are aerial roots. Why aerial roots? Because they are present in the air. Normally the roots are under the soil, no? It is in the air. And how it is modified? Why we are calling this as a modified root? Because
Because it is in storage organ. It is used as in storage organ.
no, I'm asking for this one, for the aerial root of the banyan tree. It is providing support actually. Okay, na? The aerial roots of the banyan tree are modified roots. Okay, na? And they are providing support to the tree. Right now, so they will be growing from the branches of the tree, and eventually they will reach the soil, and they are providing support to the tree. Now, provide support. So this is a modification in the root. This is a modified root. Now. And a single banyan tree will have several roots. Will have several aerial roots. There can be so many aerial roots in this one. Understood this or not? Please let me know. Like a banyan tree can grow very big. Banyan tree can grow very big. Its branches can become very heavy. So if the branches will become very heavy, it might break. It might break, but it has the aerial roots, which when it will eventually reach the soil, it will act as extra pillars to the plant and hence will support the plant. Hope you guys should be done writing all that. Here is the image of the same sweet potato here. Here you can see how from the bird, a new young plant has grown. Okay, no? So that is the case of the tuberous roots which we have learned.
Sir, what are the small leaves on that potato?
These small leaves here.
Yeah.
Okay, basically the bird is germinating and a small tiny leaves will start to come out of it now. Just when a seed germinates, just like a seed germinates, so two small leafy structure will be coming out of it. Like that is called as plumule, and then you have, like, take for example, you have a seed like this. I'm not talking about the bird right now. I'm trying to explain about the seed first of all. So first of all, a root will develop like this. That is called as radical. I suppose you guys will be aware of this, right? After some days, what we see that from this seed, no, from this seed, what we get to see that the seed will open up like this kind of. It splits into two like this, and several days later, we will see that a new tiny plant will be growing out of it. New tiny plant will grow out of like this. So same as the seed will be germinating here, okay, in the similar manner, this will also be germinating here. Initially, it will be kind of looking like this. Initially, it will be very small, like as you can see here, this is very small. And as it grows further, tiny leaves will start to emerge from this, and later on, it will develop into a big plant. Hope that is clear. Then we are going to learn about the modified underground stems here. So there are different modified underground stems. Like you have rhizomes, uh, tubers, stolons. Okay. So there are different types of underground stems, and which of them are modified. Now, why we are calling them as modified stems? What is the function performed by the stem? Normally, what is the function performed by the stem? Yes, Aman and Fatima.
So,
Mhm.
mm,
Normally, we know that the stems will be transporting the food and the water and minerals.
yes,
Apart from that, it acts as a pillar of the plant, in which all the branches and all the parts of the plants are attached to the stem, basically. Right? The branches are attached to the stem. So it acts as a pillar, plus from the stem, transportation of food and water and minerals takes place. So suppose this is a plant here. So in this stem, the transport of the food will take place in all the directions. The transport of food takes place. And whatever water is being absorbed by the roots, it is sent to the plant via the stem now. Water goes to the different parts of the plant via the stem. That is one function. Apart from that, this stem acts as a pillar also. It is acting as a pillar. So that is the normal function of the stem. But when the stem will be storing the food, then it will be called as modified stem. When it acts as a storage organ, then it is called as modified stem. Getting what I'm trying to say?
yes,
Like for example, ginger, it is the underground modified stem. Or take the example of a potato, not the sweet potato, the normal potato. That is also a modified stem. Getting it, guys? So that is why we are calling them as modified stem. Okay, because they are functioning, they are performing functions other than acting as a pillar and acting as a and other than allowing for the transport of water and minerals. So all underground modification of the stems, they will be capable of vegetative propagation, meaning that from them new plant can be grown. And the different types of modified stems have been categorized into different types. There are different types of modified stems. Namely, they are rhizomes, tubers, bulbs, and corms. What are they? Read this.
rhizomes, tubers, bulbs, and corms.
Corms. Okay. First of all, we are learning about the rhizomes. Okay. So rhizomes, they are fleshy, non-green stems that grows parallel to the ground, or they basically grow horizontal to the ground. You guys know about the parallel lines now?
Yeah,
When two things are in such a manner that they do not intersect each other, they are called as parallel. So this rhizome will be growing in a parallel manner to the ground. So whenever we look at the ginger plant, you will never find that the ginger plant will be growing like this. You will not find that it will be growing kind of like this. Getting now? It always grows in this manner. Okay. It always grows in the parallel manner. I hope you guys are able to understand what I'm saying. So this is the way of growth of the ginger, and this is basically our ground. So it is parallel to the ground. Okay, so they are horizontal underground stem, and they are modified to store the food. One thing common about all the modified stems now, whether we look at the rhizome, an example of rhizome is ginger, or whether we look at any other modified stem like potato, all of them acts as a storage organ. Any questions so far? Yeah, that is one thing. Further, when we look at the structure, they have distinct nodes and internodes. What do they have? They have nodes and internodes. Getting it up? Now, what we have learned about the nodes in the previous class, remember? Nodes are those places in the plant from where leaves will be growing out. Right now, nodes are those parts of the plant where the leaves will be growing out. Getting what I'm trying to say? Or not? So in this case now, nodes and internodes that are present in the ginger plant, they will be basically visible as these brown line, as you guys can see here. Hope you guys can spot this here. These brown lines that you see here, these are the nodes. What are they? They are the nodes. And these nodes are special in the sense that from this new root and shoots can develop. New roots and new shoots will be developing. So you guys do one thing: whenever you purchase or whenever you get a ginger, whenever you purchase it from the market now, so look at this particular structure, this part of the ginger. So you might find the brownish lines on this. I suppose you can relate with this. You might have observed this. So these brown lines that you see here, what do we call them? They are the nodes. So they have nodes and internodes. Nodes and internodes. Now another special thing I'm seeing here. 1 minute. What happened here? I was saying about the nodes that from nodes, new root and shoots develops. New roots and shoots will be developing. So suppose I have taken a ginger plant and I have taken this ginger and I'm going to put it under the soil. So after a few weeks, what I will be observing that from this part, the root will start to develop. The root will start to develop, and I will observe that the shoot will also start to develop from here. Shoots will also start to develop. Getting my point, both of you? So this helps in vegetative propagation. This will be helping in vegetative propagation. Okay, now. So that is the case about the nodes and internodes. Nodes and the internodes, they are present as the brown lines on the ginger, and from this new root and shoot can develop. So this is the root that is developed from it, and this is the shoot that has developed from it, and hence a new plant grows out from the ginger in this manner. And is it doing a sexual reproduction or asexual reproduction? What kind of reproduction is it?
Sir, asexual.
Obviously no, asexual, since it is a vegetative propagation, so it is obviously asexual. Then we
Sir,
are
in sexual reproduction, male and female are there, right?
yeah, male and female parents will be involved. Okay.
Okay.
Basically, in sexual reproduction, involvement of the flower is taking place. Flowers will be involved, but these plants don't bear flowers. Okay. That is one thing. You guys have noted down any important point from this?
Sir, can I write the underground stem and the that one and
Yeah,
the
sure. This one you guys are going to write. All underground modifications of the stems are capable of vegetative propagation. They will include the rhizomes, tubers, bulbs, and corms. And then write down the following point about the rhizome. By the way, when the chapter will be finished now, I will be providing the notes of the chapters. Okay, now.
Sir, is there gonna be the test of this chapter? It's gonna be.
Yeah,
So, sir,
obvious.
what type of questions will come?
If you see, like so far, whatever chapters we have done, there have been tests for all the chapters in the form of weekly test, in the form of revision test. Many of the students, including you, have attended those tests. So when you will be done with this chapter, no, there will be questions like multiple choice questions, fill in the blanks, match the following, and then subjective questions will be there.
Okay, sir.
That's the usual pattern of the test. Okay. Any questions? You guys tell me. Aman, you haven't been responding. What's the issue? Is there some issue with the network? And both of you turn your cameras on in the class. Fatima, including you. Yes, done both of you?
No, sir.
Okay, write down this quickly. So these rhizomes which we have learned about, do they grow parallelly or do they grow vertically to the ground, to the soil surface?
Sir, parallel.
Parallelly. Okay. So the root and the shoot will be emerging from which part of this?
Parallel.
From the
Sir, what?
the root and the shoot will be emerging from which part of the rhizome?
Sir, the leaf.
From, repeat again?
Is it from the leaf?
No. Listen
Sir,
carefully.
root.
No. My question was the root and the shoot. Root and shoot will be emerging from which part of the rhizome? Look at the different parts of the rhizome. In fact, I have written it over here very clearly. Haven't we learned about the nodes? Yeah. And isn't written here, Fatima? They have
Yes.
nodes and internodes, and from nodes, new shoot and root develops. Let me just make a correction here. From nodes and internodes. So from nodes and internodes, new
Sir,
root and
what's
shoot develops.
internodes?
Internode, basically the gap between the two nodes is called as internode. Okay, no?
Okay.
Apart from that, plants like turmeric. Turmeric also is an example of rhizome. When you will be looking at the turmeric looks very similar to the ginger, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Turmeric or haldi, commonly called as haldi. So both of them look very similar and both of them are examples. So another example we can take of turmeric here, okay? By the way, can we use turmeric solution as an acid-base indicator?
Yes.
Okay, how will you be using it?
Sir, like, I should explain it how will we use it, like on where?
Like in order to check whether a given substance is acid or base, take for example washing powder, washing soda. To check whether it is acidic or basic, how will you be using turmeric solution?
Sir, if you put it on a cloth and then put washing powder on it, and it will be red.
Thereby, it will show that washing powders are acid.
Acidic in nature.
No,
Oh,
they
sorry,
are basic in nature. Okay, no?
basic in nature, sorry.
And in the acidic solution, the color remains same. It remains yellowish. Okay.
Oh, so like, sir, if it's acidic, the color won't change.
Yeah. If it is neutral and acidic, the color will not change. But if it is a basic substance, then color changes to dark red. Okay. That's why if there is a food stain, if you have ate some food that contains haldi in it, that contains turmeric powder in it, and after washing the cloth, after detergents are put on that stain, the color changes to red. because the reaction takes place between turmeric solution and the detergent, which is basic in nature. You guys done with this or not? Please let me know.
So,
Is that a yes or no? I didn't heard it properly.
no, sir.
Okay, write down this quickly. Fatima, will it be okay? Like just previously we were doing the chapter. Anuman, you also tell me that we were discussing the topics in the class, and later on, as the notes were provided to you guys will be able to note it down from there.
Sir, from like the one you send or in the class?
No, no, from the one which I have sent. You guys have received notes of several chapters, no?
Yes.
From there, you can note it down. Like
Okay. Okay.
we will
Okay.
require more than usual classes to complete the chapter. If parallelly, you guys will be making down notes also. Although the
Sir, we can do classes just for writing notes
Mhm.
or
No, no, I was saying that now you will be attending the classes. Okay, and in the class, you guys will be listening to everything. You can write down the important points, whatever questions you have from a topic. And after the chapter will finish, I will make sure I will provide the PPT of the chapter right after the chapter is finished. So from there, you can
okay.
write down the important things, because usually if we require 4 or 5 or 6 classes, if it were to we were to continue in this manner, we'll require several classes to complete the chapter. Okay, now as of now,
Okay.
complete this one by the way.
Sir, I'm almost done.
Okay, okay. I have one more idea. I can put the screenshots in the chat box, and you can download it from there. Yeah, how
Okay.
about that? I think that will be a better idea.
Yes.
Okay, now I just put it in the chat box. You download it after the class. You will take 15-20 minutes to write it down. So I'm going to take the screenshot of this one and I'm going to drop it in the chat box. And kindly confirm whether you guys are able to save it in your gallery or not in your devices. If you guys are able to save it. It's being sent. I have sent it. Kindly see if you guys can save it or not. Next, we're going to learn about the vegetative propagation by another type of stem that are called as tubers. So these are the tuberous stems. Remember, we learned about the tuberous roots now, isn't it? You guys can see the screenshot, right? Both of you.
Yes, sir.
You are able to download it or not? Please let me know.
Sir, I could download it. You only send one, right?
As I will be continuing, I will be sending the others also. Okay.
Oh yeah, I've got it.
Okay, good. I think this will be the better idea. Okay, no? So talking about the another type of vegetative propagation by the tuberous system. This is also a stem. The previous one was also a stem, but this was rhizome, and right now we are learning about the tuberous system. Okay. So just like we have learned about the tuberous system, some plants have tuberous stems, and these stems will be storing the nutrients, and they will have buds in them. They have bud, that bud. Okay, na? That birds will be present on it. Okay. So these birds will form into new plants. These birds will form into new plant, and the examples are as follows. The first example is the potato here. Getting it now? That is one thing. So they are the swollen, fleshy underground stems that will be storing the food. So tuberous stems are swollen, fleshy underground stems. Underground stems. Further, we underground stems that store food. Another thing is that they have eyes or buds on their surface. So they have eyes or buds on their surface. Another thing is, as you guys can see here, eye is basically a scar on the surface here. You guys can see it's like a scar. Okay, no? So that is basically called as eye, or basically the bud. Under favorable condition, this bud or the eye will start to germinate. Just like the seed germinates, so this will also germinate and a new plant will start to grow. As you guys can see here in this, or look at this image here, how a new plant has started to grow from this, right now. So as we have put this potato under the soil, from this bird, a new potato plant is started to grow, right now. That is one thing. And if there are 5 birds, so 5 new plants will grow. 10 birds are there, 10 new plants will grow from it. As many birds are there, as many plants will be there growing out of it. Hope this much should be clear. Okay. So we have example of potato. Another example is yam also. Another example is yam. You guys have heard of this yam or not?
No, sir.
No? Okay. Yam is also one example, like there's a common word for this. I'm forgetting the name, but it is
Sir,
a,
I think I've heard it, but I don't know what it is.
like in India, it has some like elephant food yam, or like in it's a common name like Jimmy can or like something. It's a vegetable actually that is used in cooking and basically used as a cooking. Hmm? It is known regionally. It is known by different names, by the way. Or just let me show the image. Hope you guys will be able to recall it. Aman, are you there in the class? Please confirm this. No, not this one. Not yeah, this one I was talking about. We get a clearer picture.
Sir, so it's like beetroot.
Sir, basically sweet potato.
This one. No, no, not sweet potato. It's different from sweet potato actually. I couldn't get the right image here, but it's actually different from the sweet potato. Okay. Like this one is giving us the, it's a little bit hairy. There are little hair-like structures growing out on it. These are basically small hair-like structures that grows on. Can you guys see it carefully now? See this? It looks different from the sweet potato actually. And there are more hair-like structures on it. Okay. So this is another example. Okay. Okay, I'm going to put the screenshot of this one also, and make sure both of you download it. Okay. Download it and then continue, write down it in the next, and after the class. The next type of vegetative propagation we'll be seeing in the case of the runners. Okay. So there are some plants that grows along the ground and they contain modified stems in them called runners. They contain modified stems in them called as runners. So in that case, at certain parts of the runners, you will see that they are there will be nodes present on it. Like when we look at the different parts here, like take for example, a node will be present here. Okay, a node, or basically the bird will be present here, and from that bird, roots and shoots will be developing. So runners, these are the horizontal stems, as we can see here. These are the horizontal stems that grow above the ground, and when they touch the soil, they develop roots and gives rise to a new plant. And another common term for this horizontal stem, that is the runner, is also stolon. So there are some plants that grow along the ground and contain modified stems called as runners. So these stems that are growing horizontally, or we can say parallelly to the soil surface, they are runners. And these runners contains birds that can produce roots and stems. So at several places, as you guys can spot here, at several places here, like for example, like here and here, hope you guys can point out where I'm seeing here. So from this, you guys will see at certain places, tiny roots have grown. Right, Fatima? Aman is not here. So spatial birds are present here. Over here, here, and here. Birds are present. And from this bird, the root and the shoot can develop. The root and the shoot will develop from this, and hence a new plant grows. Understood this or not? Common examples of this runner will be strawberry and the grass and mint plant also. And the mint plant also. So examples include strawberry, mint, and the grasses. Any questions in this? Please let me know.
No.
Okay. Let me put the screenshot of this one also. Next, we have vegetative propagation by the leaves. So as we have learned about this previously, in fact, also said that there are few leaves of some plants, as it will be getting detached from the parent plant, as it will be falling onto the ground. So from its margin, buds will start to grow, and from that bud, the root and the shoot system will grow. One thing common we are seeing here now, that several plants which we have discussed so far, one thing common about all of them is bud, right, Fatima?
Yes, sir.
This bryophyllum leaf also has bud now. Remember the potato, the sweet potato, or the runners, all of them have the bud. So bud is special in almost all the plants, except for the ginger. In the case of the ginger, we have the nodes and the internodes. So this will give rise to a new plant. Root system will develop, shoot system will develop, and hence a new plant will grow. Other examples other than bryophyllum is adiantum and calanchum. You can just remember at least two examples. That will be sufficient to help you. Okay. So that's the fourth screen. One, two, three, fourth screenshot I have dropped in the chat box. Hope you guys can see it here. There. Then we have another type of stem, that is bulb. This is also underground stem. And how this bulb is different from others now. Although what we know that this bulb will also be considered as a storage organ. Okay. A special thing about this is that this will contain layers of fleshy leaves. They contain layers of fleshy leaves. That is one special thing about this. Okay. And the base of the bulb, from this, new shoots can develop. From the base of this, new shoots can develop. As you can see here, from the base of the bulb, a new shoot has developed here. Okay. Examples, common example is onion and garlic as well. So these are two common examples. We'll be learning in detail about this one in the next class. From today's class, if you have any questions, please let me know.
No, sir.
Okay, so let me just quickly sum it up what we have learned. We learned about the runners, we learned about the rhizomes, we learned about the tuberous roots and the tuberous stems in today's class, and the bryophyllum leaf also, vegetative propagation by the that also. Now tell me, what is common about all the vegetative propagation plants, the plants that are grown by the
Sir,
vegetative propagation?
I didn't understand when you were explaining it in the last, but we don't have time right now, so
Repeat again, repeat again.
I didn't understand when you were teaching it in the last, the last lines.
From which topic?
From the topic you were just teaching right now, just now, before.
Okay, this one you are saying, bulbs.
Yeah.
Okay, as I said, now I will be continuing from here in the next class. Okay, now
Okay.
it has not been discussed in detail. I have just given you an overview of this. Okay.
Okay. Sir, could you explain some of these topics again in the next class? Could you explain it again?
We'll be recapping it. We'll be recapping it in next class. Okay, now
Okay.
some of the key points about vegetative propagation from today's discussion we can take that in different all the vegetative propagation method which we have learned, seed is not involved. No, seeds was not involved, right?
Yeah. Seed was not involved.
Exactly. Further, the new plant that will be grown will be genetically identical to their parent plant, whether
Yeah.
it be the case of the bryophyllum or the case of this strawberry, mint, or grass that is grown, that are the runners. So all of them will be grown, all of them will be genetically identical to their parent plant. That is one thing. Another common thing we are seeing that in the case of the potato, in the case of the potato, the sweet potato, they have buds in them. Right now, they have buds in them.